other man handles a lot. All the black gang fam, I handle the lot. Me and Foss bagging up grams at the spot. Shots in my grind gear, jumped in my...
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the Let's Talk Battle Rap Podcast, the Battle Rap Podcast of New York, and for right now, the Battle Rap Podcast of London. Yo, if you want to get in tune with us, hit us up at Let's Talk Battle Rap at gmail.com. If you want to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram, LTBR Podcast, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Program V. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys already heard episode 97, which was our Summer Madness 8 recap. But this episode, we got an even more special Summer Madness 8 recap because I got my homie from London, my main man Ed, who I met at the Mook versus Verb battle and who was on stage during Summer Madness 8 doing some of the craziest battles. So it was only right that we showed love to the UK. I wanted a representative from out there to come and show love and to talk about the experience so us heads in the US could know exactly what it was like. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring to you my homie all the way from the other side of the pond. Ed, talk to the people, my brother.
Yo, what's good, bro? What's good, bro? Thanks for having me today. Yeah, it was so I was saying, man, we spoke about it and you asked me to come up and just talk about it because I was there live and direct.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to you and what you're doing is great things. But yeah, Summer Madness was crazy. Crazy.
Talk to me. First of all, you wake up and you know that all the battlers are there. You know John's gonna be there. Like, talk to me what it was like when you woke up and you heard the news that it's actually going down.
No, because luckily I have a friend that works with Smack, so he's been going to the battles even from he was there at the K-Shine versus Tay-Rock. He was there at the Firstborn Legacy.
Yeah.
So he's been going for a while. So he basically hit me up and was like, yeah, I'm smacking that is down here. So I was actually with them lot the day before the battles. I was with them on Friday.
Oh shit, talk about it. That's dope.
Yeah, so I was at the face-off. So I met all the battlers. The only ones that wasn't present, but they were in the country, was T-Top wasn't there, Ion wasn't there. I didn't see any of the British MCs, but and John wasn't there. But I think we knew he was coming, but it was still a question because we hadn't physically seen him. But I think the word was that he was coming and he flew in that morning, the next morning. But yeah, so I saw the face-off. I saw Twerk versus Arsenal face-off, Tay-Rock and Pat Stay. And I just spent like 2 hours there chopping it up with them, talking to them about battles, how they're feeling.
Nice.
Spoke to Smack about him coming over to London, how he was feeling, and the vibes was good. Like, they were in good spirits. And I just had a feeling, do you know when you have a feeling that it's going to be a good event?
Hell yeah,
everyone's kind of seemed focused. Yeah, everyone seemed focused, like ready, even from the face-offs and the back and forths. There was even little back and forths between Twerk and Tay-Rock.
Okay, yeah.
And they were talking about a potential battle, and Twerk was saying, it'll be the best version of him. And then there was a jokey little section between Smack and Twerk where they were just talking about the pocket check. So, yeah,
well,
so it was crazy.
What Smack had to say about the pocket check?
Smack was like, no one's ever allowed to do that to him again.
Oh, shit. Yo, yeah, I ain't mad at that, man. Don't touch me.
Yeah, but it was all love.
Right, of course.
It was all love.
Uh-huh.
Briz was out there. I spoke to Briz. I think he was supposed to battle Mike P, he said, but he said Mike P pulled out the week before. So there was, you know what? The vibe was really good there. He didn't go into too much detail, but I think, he just said Mike P, it didn't go through, but it was supposed to happen, I think, it was supposed to happen, but it didn't happen, basically.
Got you.
So hopefully it does happen because I think it'll be a good battle between them two. But yeah, I think the vibes in general and the consensus between everyone was like, okay, the vibes there. I met Jay Black and Tech 9 as well.
Yeah.
So it was like most people were there and everyone was sort of ready. So waking up the next morning, I think I spoke to my friend and he was like, yeah, John's landed. And then I saw the vlog. So I was like, okay, it's going to be, it's on. And bear in mind, I think I've seen John battle before at Summer Madness too. So I knew
also
he was ready.
The evolution of John. You seeing the...
Yeah, I've seen his growth because technically, you remember, he's the first PG to step on that main stage.
Right.
And he kind of opened the door. And that performance at Summer Madness 2, whether you think he won or lost against Hitman Holler, he turned up.
Absolutely. He
And then
stamped
from
himself.
there, he kind of like opened the door. So to be honest, he is the greatest PG to come out of that whole setup system.
I mean, at this point, after this Hollow to Dawn battle, there should be no discussion about that. Like, there's no discussion who's who's the greatest PG, who's done what. There's no discussion after this Hollow to Dawn battle. No matter how you call it or slice it, like this was like his flu game. You feel me? Like, however you cut the cake. Yeah. So you woke up, felt fantastic, ready to rock. Big breakfast that morning.
Yeah, I had to make sure, man, because you know these events you're there for a while. So I had a good breakfast. No, do you know what? I woke up. I don't know who I thought I was. I went for like a 7K run.
What?
Not knowing that. Yeah, because it's usually my plan every Saturday morning. But I was like, it was a wrong idea. I felt it on Sunday.
Yeah,
standing up
because you're gonna be standing on your feet the whole damn day. So you running 7K.
I know. That's crazy. But
so to that though.
Then I went to the venue, got there a bit late. So to be honest, right now, Geechee's one of my best up and coming. So he's like, there's a few people that I want to see live. So Tay-Rock was one.
Yeah.
Goods is one I haven't seen, but I want to see. I want to see Geechee and Sue Surf. Those are the ones that I've not really been able to see, even in the events that I've gone to.
Right.
So, I thought when I first saw the trailer, I was like, damn, Geechee's coming. Then I just realized that more likely not. When reality sinks in, but I really he's one of the guys that, he's definitely in my top. He's in my top 5 of battlers of the year, or just in general at the moment. Active.
Yeah, man. Like every time, you know what? Anytime he's mentioned on the card, I want to see his performance. That's the only way I could put it. That's the only way I could put it. If they say, yo, Geechee Gotti's on this, I want to check it out immediately. You know, some people you could wait. I'll get it to it when I get to it. Nah, Geechee Gotti battle drop. I'm stopping what I'm doing and I'm checking it out, man. But how did you feel when you realized that? It's probably gonna be just a playback.
Sorry.
How did you feel when you realized that was probably just gonna be a playback of the battle and they weren't gonna be there?
Do you know what? I just thought it's cool anyway because to be honest, I bought every Smack. Since they've started it, I bought every Smack sort of pay-per-view. So to me, it's the feel already. But then, as I was telling people that I was there, it's like, trust me, the feel you're gonna get tonight is different to watching it online. So,
absolutely.
But what I heard, it was crazy. I heard they kept on stopping it, rewinding it. So I heard it felt like they were there. That's how crazy I heard it was.
Yeah, I heard they had to keep pulling up the joint, man. Like they had to stop. I heard it was crazy. Like everyone was just going crazy, yelling out the slogans and all that. Like that's love, man. That's love. People,
and that's the thing what I was saying before. That I think where, like, no disrespect to Don't Flop, but I feel that they felt it was going to be that vibe. But when you got in there, it gave you that Smack gritty feel. Like there was people really sort of from the streets there, so it gave you that whole atmosphere, the feel, the tension, and people were reacting. I think people were not too sure how receptive London fans would be to the bars. Would they catch them? But they caught them and they were going crazy, and like they kept their energy all night. Because if you remember, look at the reaction Tay-Rock got when he came out.
Hell yeah, yo, that shit was. Yo, I told my man, did Tay-Rock come out or did Michael Jackson walk out? Like that shit was
crazy. It
was deafening. Like a lot of times things don't translate from in the venue to TV, but me being in the venue before, like I was like, yo, this is a level that I've never heard before. Like it was crazy, fam. Like it was ill. And when I saw the pictures coming up, I was just glad to see so much chocolate in that crowd, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, there's
so much melanin, man. Y'all
and
made
even
me
the
so
ladies
proud.
came out as well.
Word, Luxury was up in there. Bow for Luxury, make y'all bold cat. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
They had I was just shouting out some of the ladies that was up in there. You know what I mean?
I can't hear you. Keep cutting out, bro.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can
What
hear
were
me?
you saying?
No, I was saying, yeah, man. It was so much chocolate up in there, man. So much melanin. The ladies were there. Like, it was dope, man.
Yeah, the ladies were there. There was, it was just crazy. Do you know what? The whole vibe was crazy. So it's like when I got there and then I was waiting for my friends. So I thought, let me go and grab a snack. So I grab a snack and I'm walking.
Yeah.
And then I sort of turn around because it was like raining heavy. And then I see my friend. He was with John. So
Okay. Yeah.
John walks up. I dap him up. I was like, we met at Summer Madness 2. He's like, oh, word, that's love. And then he had a bag.
Yeah.
But then my friend had the bag and he said, look, I've got this bag with my stuff in it. My friend was going to be running around a lot, isn't it? So he was like, do you mind going on stage with John? He's got some stuff that he's going to use in the first round. And John goes, ask me if that's all right. I was like, in the beginning, I was like, I don't know. Like, because he's battling Hollow. If I do anything wrong, I could just become a rebuttal. So, but I thought, you know what? It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't know if I'll ever be on a main stage like that in the front.
For a main
event
I just took, like this.
Yeah. So I took the bag and then I was just with it all night. But in my mind, I was like, number one, I didn't want to look in it to spoil the surprise. And number two, I had to be careful because I'm like, if I lose this bag, it's like a part of his first round. You get what I'm saying? So
you
in my head, I was mindful every time.
You would fuck up the whole battle if you lost the bag. Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was love from him, to be honest, because he didn't have to like do that. He could have just put it somewhere secure and then put it at the side and then come up. So
let me ask you, was that stressful?
It was, you know, it wasn't stressful, but in my mind, I had to be mindful that like I can't just put this down because where we are, that bag could go missing anywhere. I don't know what's in the bag. Number one, I haven't looked in it all night. I didn't look in it because I didn't want to spoil it. And another thing, it was just like, nah. And then I was like, if I lose this, imagine if I lost it. That would have been crazy.
The battle would have been so different, man. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So I was carrying the bag literally the whole night from when I got there. From what was the first battle I saw? Was it was after Gemini? No, Gemini and Soul. I got there at the third round, so I had it from then all the way to John. So that whole night, I'm just carrying that bag.
Yeah. Wow,
so,
you were a transporter that night.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I had met Hollow's guys the day before, right?
Yeah.
And they had a bag, but the bag they had, I knew it was it would have something that's like a sign in it because of the company they bought it from. It's like a UK London stationery company that sell like pens and borders.
Like a little arts and crafts store.
Yeah, but I was chopping it up with Hollow's guys the day before. So I'm talking to them and I've got a bag and they've got a bag. And I'm like, they've got a bag for Hollow and I've got a bag for John. So it was crazy. So we're talking normally. I'm on stage. I'm talking to Hollow's guy called, I think his name's Dutch, about some of the battles. And then like another one, I'm talking to him as well. And like we're chopping up, but they're like, they don't know that I've got this bag for John.
Right.
So and I just had to I just didn't like tell anyone that, you know, I've got it or I'm doing it because in case I lost it or someone took it. Do you see what I'm saying? So
yeah, no, for real.
I kept it to myself all night and just thought, you know, I'll wait to the night. So I was, to be honest, I was on stage for nearly all of the battles, but I was more at the back.
Wow.
Just at the sides.
Right.
So you may catch me in a few of the shots, but I was just at the back, so when for instance running through the battles, Soul and Gemini I never really saw. I saw the third round, but the consensus was Gemini got him.
Yeah, that's how I had it. And
then the next battle was Rock, wasn't it?
Yeah, man, it was Pat Stay versus Tay Rock, man.
So the Rock comes out, right?
Talk to me about it.
The place just explodes, and then Rock, everyone's got their hands up doing gun fingers, in regards to him being a gun bar kid. It was, you know, like in wrestling when someone comes and they just put their hands up the crowd and they're going crazy,
hell, like Stone Cold, the glass breaks.
Yeah, it's like he's come there before and he returned, but then it's like as he's calling himself the hoodie Rock in it, he went crazy that first round. Remember that first round
that first round was exceptional, bro. Like what I really liked about it was that he had different pacing in there. He was cracking some jokes and shit. Like he had it was like new flows. Like it looks like London to me. Like I was like, oh shit, Tay Rock's, you know what I'm saying? But he still had like the hardcore stuff in between the new flows. You know what I mean? What was it like in the building that first round? They introduced him. It
was crazy because it was like, we know Rock is known for his second rounds, right?
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes his first rounds are underestimated. Like they're underrated, his first rounds, and they're fire as well. But he seems to pick up the energy in his second, but it's like he just came out swinging. And I think what he done, which was really smart, was that he fed up the energy straight away. So when he said, this looks like London, and then he just went back to back to back. So he's like, from his entrance, that energy kept consistent throughout to the round.
Yeah, never dropped. Kept that intensity the entire
Never
time.
dropped. And then Rock, he was just going off on one. And yeah, that was crazy. And then Pat Stay went. And to be honest, Pat Stay's first round was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was good, but it just wasn't. Do you know when it's just not enough?
Absolutely. You know what? That first round by Tay Rock reminded me of his first round versus Goods. You know how crazy he came out versus Goods? And like all that intensity, everything, he just laid everything out on the line. So this battle too was like, even with the new style that he had, he also kept that intensity so high and everything was hitting. It's like everything he threw at Pat Stay hit and just stuck. And it was like, yo, this is crazy. The whole crowd was going nuts. The haymakers were landing. And Pat's first round was good crazy too. It was good.
Yeah,
like
Pat came back crazy.
Talk to me about Pat's first. First of all, talk to me about that the fur coat he had on, man. What that thing looked like in person.
You know what? I saw him the day before with that fur coat, and I was like, nah. I was laughing, and he was like, yeah. But you know, with Pat, he's got that swag. He just doesn't care.
Swag, baby, yeah.
And but it was just, you know what? Because you know what? I haven't watched any of the battles yet. Like I'm gonna get the pay-per-view and watch it, but I'm just going off from my energy. So I was going to watch it before I spoke to you, but I thought, you know what? Let me just give you a recap of how I felt in the building.
No, this is perfect. This is what we need, man. Because, you know, France and I, we already did the pay-per-view version or whatever. So we want that in the building feeling. Yeah. Only you could provide that, my brother. So once again, thank you for coming on board.
No worries, bro. It's all love, and thanks for inviting me.
Oh, and just in case y'all wonder who this is my man. If y'all see the picture floating around on Twitter with Uncle Smack and nephew Slap, aka Uncle Smizzle and nephew Smizzle.
You know what was crazy? People were coming up to me, running up to me in like the event saying, "Oh, do you know what? I thought you were Smack until I got close. I was gonna ask for a picture."
You're like, baby, give me the picture anyway.
And then John called me Slap. Another like battle rapper was calling me Slap on the day before. Crazy.
Yeah, but yo, Chef Trez just branded you Slap, man. So now in London, every time they see you now, Slap.
Trust me, he tried to give me 3 of them things before.
Oh my gosh, man.
But it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was funny though. Like people were coming up to me like, "Oh, Smack," and I was like, "Nah, I'm not Smack, unfortunately." Like, I was just about to take a picture with you. I was like, "Nah."
We'll fuck off then.
Yeah.
Word, man. Nah, but to me, Pat Stay's first round, like I felt like after that.
Do you know what? It was crazy because do you know what? Even though I don't think he was beating Rock, but he gave himself, he made a fair representation of himself in terms of, because what was hard for him, it was an uphill battle for him that first round because people were just feeding off everything Rock was doing. And it wasn't, you know, people say with Rock is gas. It wasn't even gas. He was fire.
He was hitting, he was hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, it was like, there was no gas at all. Like they were just like, boom, boom, boom. And you have to imagine the crowd it's still a young night. Like the night is still early. So the energy, they're like boom, boom, boom. And some of these guys, they know if they watch Smack, they know Smack's main guy is Tay Rock.
Right.
And they know Tay Rock embodies that whole kind of Smack feel.
Exactly.
So when they heard him just going off, I think people were just going crazy. Like I was at the back on the stage going, nah, this is I was like, this is crazy. And then when he dropped the Kamehameha, and then he got the crowd to repeat.
Son, I went crazy at home. I was like, damn, this shit is nuts right here, man. But getting back to Pat Stay's first, I thought it took him a while to heat up and get really comfortable.
Yeah, I think he wasn't. I feel that. Do you know what he realized? I think the energy that Rock had brought sucked out from the crowd. I feel. When he started, they weren't really. He didn't get that initial reaction.
Yeah. Like
when he started his bar, so I think he started picking up, and I think when he realized that okay, I'm kind of they're kind of like midway through the round, they're kind of starting to mess with him, isn't it? Then he started picking up his energy and his performance.
Facts. That's
so then I think, and then I think then after that, I think the consensus, and I'm sure you agree, is 1-0 Rock, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you know what was dope though? He set up that Mr. Always ready to fight but never do. So remember that
Mm,
that was in the first round. So even though it took him a while to cook up
yeah,
and get into Pat Stay mode, he did
yeah,
the bars, and then he starts setting up that angle that he's gonna carry over to the second round. So he definitely clearly lost that first round, but it's like, okay, I'm setting the seed right now, and now I'm gonna really execute my round. And he knows that he's gonna have to
yeah,
step it up in round two. So that
yeah,
was the little jewel that I
and
picked up. But going into Rock's
yeah.
second round, what did you think of the second round? A lot of people's talking about
You
this
know
round.
what? Because Rock mentioned in interviews, right, that he's going to try something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I respect him for doing it because he could have just come gun bars, but he thought, you know what, I'm, I've got a chance to battle someone like Pat Stay. He's very sarcastic. Like he tries
Right.
to swag on you. He tries to just like um, belittle you and everything. So I think, yeah, Rock tried something different. But I think it worked because even though he mentioned the same topic about cocaine, he
Mm-hmm.
mixed it with bars. And I feel sometimes for growth, especially as a battle rap, you got to try new things. You
Right.
can't. And I think even he's just showing that Rock has still got a lot of things that he can unlock.
Absolutely. And I thought he definitely did that in the first. That was a fine example in the first round. But I thought, like, as experienced as Rock is, and as knowing the level of competition that Pat Stay has faced, like, to me, that round being so long on just the subject of crack, and especially, I don't know how hard the
Mm,
crack epidemic hit in England. You know what I mean? In the US, it was something
yeah,
crazy. So I don't know if that
yeah,
was the right place to do it. Like, if he did it in the middle of Newark, like, they probably would have went
mm,
crazy for it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, and the fact that it was so long and drawn out, I think, like,
mm,
maybe it was just a mishap. Like, the bars were there, some of them were hitting, some of them were light. And even the way he ended it, like, he didn't end it super strong. You know what I'm saying? And
mm.
so that led me to, like, yo, this round could be taken away easily from Pat Stay, and then we go into the
I
second round.
know, and
And
and, and
mhm,
this is the debatable round because Pat Stay went crazy,
yeah,
and he, remember he done that sort of only gonna like you're always gonna fight.
yeah,
Started, and then there was that whole thing about when he mentioned that line about his daughter,
right.
and then Rock started getting angry. But I, I had a feeling they weren't gonna fight, but I feel it was more like disrespect. Probably Rock was thinking because they were chopping it up the day before and everything. So I think from his point, it was more like, why did you don't have to cross that line? It's not that type of battle. Like we don't have that type of animosity towards each other. So, but what that did for Rock, I think it sucked his energy, and it showed in the third round.
Yeah, well,
So
what's crazy? Before we got on the line, I got a chance to check that battle out again, right? And I wanted to see exactly what transpired. So you can see in the first round when Rock said the thing about your moms, but just meaning that I'm calling your mother a bitch and Pat
yeah, but I
Stay,
think
right? So Pat looks at him and but I still think Pat had it in the second round. But this is where Pat is a
yeah,
salesman and a veteran, right? Because he's like, hey,
mm,
okay, I can play this off, you know what I'm saying, and make it look like, oh, now I'm going into, freestyle of disrespecting you. And you know what I also noticed when Pat did that, if Tay Rock says nothing, the battle keeps going on. But
mm,
Tay Rock, he's explaining to Pat, no, I'm not saying you, I'm saying your mother, I'm saying, your mother and you. But if you got, I don't know, 1,200 people in there yelling and screaming, the adrenaline's going, there's smoke in the air, like, you may not hear everything. So Pat Stay may not be hearing what Tay Rock's saying. And then in the midst of
yeah, and
that,
that's
Tay Rock calls him the capital
mm,
P. Pat Stay says
yeah,
SMD, and now you got a lot of rah, 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 rah,
yeah. But
you know.
I feel, you know what? It's crazy because it's like, I was literally like in the corner, like, you know where Briz was standing, but just behind him.
Yeah.
So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, it's getting a bit heated. And I know like Rock's trying to explain to him, but I think Rock's trying to explain to him sort of like in a way like, I'm not disrespecting your kids, so why have you gone there with me kind of thing. And then when they started talking more, and then there was a whole SMH and all that stuff like that, or
SMD.
SMD stuff like that.
Right.
Like it was like okay, and I think that's where Rock probably felt disrespected of them.
Yeah, because that capital P led to the SMD, and then that leads to the
Yeah,
shoving.
and
But
I think Pat Stay fed off that, but I don't like me. As I said in my tweet, I still think Rock edged that round live. To me, he edged it, but as I said, like I need to watch it back. But I
no,
think this.
definitely check it out again
Mm,
because you know, watching it again, it's not like it was just the moment that gave it to Pat, right? Because then Pat
yeah,
freestyles and goes, ah, yeah, see, you know, always Mr. Always, whatever, whatever. But then this
mm,
gives him a spark to really land all of his bars with intensity. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
takes it up to another level. Because if he just would have went regular, to you know, just in my opinion, like it definitely would have been like, hey, you know, this could go either way. But he took his up to a next level where I felt like Tay Rock was just kind of coasting with his second round. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just kind of just getting it out there. And then this kind of gave Pat a spark to go into the third, you know, to finish off his second. So to me, he started running away with the second definitely after that.
mm,
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
then
So
talk to me
I
about
found it.
this
You know,
third round.
to me, I thought it was a debatable second round, but I did edge it to Rock. But
Hmm.
that's just watching it live.
Facts. Hmm.
And third round, do you know what it was about the third round? Is like so Rock goes right,
Yeah.
and he's spitting, but then you could tell in the beginning like he's breaking up his flow, like he
Yeah.
stops and then he goes.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, is this the way he's setting up? But then it went. But then what I think it was that because he exerted so much energy and maybe his mind and his headspace was in a different place.
Yeah.
I feel like he was back, like there was a battle back and forth of trying to remember his thing. So although people will say it's a trope because he stopped, I do respect the fact that he still tried. Like it that
Absolutely.
and it wasn't a long, like it may have, I don't know how it looked on camera, but he didn't actually stop for long. He was just like, damn. And then Briz was like, get it together, get it together. Then he got back into it. Then he stopped again and got back into it. But I do respect him for finishing the round. But it kind of, what happened in the second round played into Pat Stay's thing. And Pat Stay kind of sailed away with that third because of
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. When you watch it back, you're gonna really you're gonna notice because
But
for how all right in the building, right? Because none of us have seen this from Rock. The closest thing was PG Skillet, but he was throwing up, like literally throwing up
yeah, yeah,
alcohol.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't even count that. You know what I'm saying?
Rock,
At
Rock,
home, I was like, what's going on here? I was like, is he just I thought maybe he had some water, you know, like on some chest shit or whatever. But then he did it like another time. And when he
yeah,
hit the when he hit the Wayne Rooney Bang Uzi's joint, he pounded his chest like 6 times. I think he pounded the air out of his chest literally and left himself winded,
yeah,
man. Like Rock, you got to do some push-ups or some bench presses, brother. If you gonna be pounding your chest like that,
yeah.
man. And when you see
But
it on cam, you'll see.
I spoke to him right after the battle though,
Hmm.
and I was like, look, I personally had you winning 2-1, edging the second, but I was like, you let him get to you the second round, and he's
Yeah.
like, it's true, it's true. I was like, because of him getting to you in the second round, it kind of took your mind out of the space, and he goes, yeah, it's true, like that sort of. But then, with Rock here, what I like about him, he's like an honest professional. So he's like,
He's very
you know what,
humble
I
in
messed up
person.
that third.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I messed up in third, so but watch, I've got you guys next time.
Yeah, no, he's
So I was
very
like,
humble
cool.
in person, definitely.
But I had that battle 2-1, Rock in a debatable battle. That I told him as well. I did tell him like face to face. The second is debatable, but the first and the third is clear.
Hmm.
But the second is up in the air for me. But I need to watch it again. But in the building, I had it going to Rock.
All right.
But another thing about the battle as well is that a lot of people, I don't know if it transpired in the crowd, but a lot of people wasn't too happy with the nightstick bar.
Yo, yeah, we heard it
So,
on. People were like, woo, woo.
yeah, because people even on the stage was like, whoa, 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 nah. So I was like, but you know what? I know there's no intent behind it, but just the connotations behind the
No,
whole act.
absolutely, absolutely,
So,
and trust me, I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like battle rap. I take things with a grain of salt, and it was like 1 bar, 2 bars. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So, but overall, like they both got their respect. The good thing about the crowds, no one booed. Like even when Rock was like lost his way a bit, people were just like more like, come on, Rock, let's go. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And as a battler, it's probably better for you than instead of everyone booing you, because then you've got the pressures of like, shit, I'm trying to remember, and then the crowd's against me, sort of thing. So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got to give it to him for just wanting to complete his task for London, and that's his heart. You know what I'm saying? Like that's him leaving his heart on the stage. Win, lose, or draw. Listen, man, I'm gonna try to give you my all. And he definitely showed
yeah,
accountability. He didn't run from it,
yeah.
and like he
So
said, I think he'll come back stronger than ever.
Yeah, so I think shout out to Pat Stay. He done great.
Yeah.
Even though, like as I said, I had Rock edging it 2-1, but what? Okay, I'll say it at the end when I finish my recap.
Sure.
But what I did like is that no matter what you say about Rock, he's always comes and gives you a performance.
Right.
Every round, part of the little sections in his third round, Rock never, as a top tier, he never slacks. Whether you like his content or you don't, or you think that he's not as bar heavy or he is, like he always gives you your money's worth.
Yeah,
Like
he always
if you're going
brings 3 rounds for sure.
yeah,
Absolutely.
if you're going to see Rock, you're not going to be disappointed. So
yeah, you definitely gonna get your money's worth, or you definitely gonna get maximum effort. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Yeah, like it's so crazy because when you see Rock, right, he's quite laid back, but the energy he pushes out is like he's 7 foot. Like it is crazy.
Yo,
like he's so humble, but it's like he's got that switch. As soon as he gets into battle mode,
Yep.
Rock just goes off.
What's crazy was we were at Strike 2.5, and Rock was just a spectator there or whatever, just supporting Cave Gang. And like when you see Rock in person, it's like all you see is a cloud of smoke, and then he's moving in like slow mo, giving you like the salute, and everything is like super laid back, super chill, super humble. But then he hits the stage, and oh man, it's crazy once he hits that stage, man.
Yeah, so, but it's crazy because the day before I spoke to him, and I was like, "Look, do you know what? You're on my list of people I've never watched, and you're one of my he's one of my top battlers. So it was great to see him live because I haven't been able to see him live before. So salute to Rock, man. It was good to see him.
Word, you can scratch that one off now. Now,
yeah,
moving on to the next battle. Which one was that? Solomon and
no, I think it was Arsenal versus Twerk.
Oh yes, Arsenal versus Twerk. Talk to me about the Battle of New Jersey, my brother, from your point of view.
So, all right. So basically, at the face-offs, it was crazy. Like they were going back and forth, and it got to a point where Rock was just. No, Twerk was like they were actually gonna battle. Rock flipped a coin outside.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Twerk wanted to spit around, but Arsenal just walked off saying, "No, I'm not doing that. Like tomorrow we'll battle."
Twerk says, "I'll ride another round tonight." I was like, "No, don't do that, man."
Yeah, he was actually gonna. So the energy was there. They were going back and forth, and then when they got on stage, it was like, you know what? It was crazy because it's like I don't know how to explain it. Do you know Twerk, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you see him, he's actually like he's a very cool guy, and he's got a cool demeanor about him. But then when him and Arsenal touched the stage, they actually looked like giants. Because as much as Rock's entrance was crazy, Twerk's reception was crazy as well. It wasn't as crazy as Rock's, but when he came out,
it made it.
Even when he started bouncing in these rounds,
mid-round, it's like all you got to do is bounce and people go.
Yeah, but
nuts.
Who went first again? I think it was Twerk that went first.
Yeah, Twerk went first. Twerk's first round was fire. What did you think about it?
Yeah, do you know what it was? Twerk is fire. I'm not gonna lie. Like I even told him the day before, like Verb is one of my best battlers, but the third round you gave him was disgusting.
Yeah, that was fire.
So Twerk. So basically, the battle goes. Twerk goes first, and Twerk's going crazy. Like, the first round was crazy.
Yeah, man. He had a lot of setup punches going on in there, and they were just landing, man. Like everything he was throwing out was like. And he even started off with a little bit of joking. I ain't gonna choke tonight, and just really getting the crowd on his side. Because not for nothing, after some of those performances, after the last Summer Madness, you want to give that crowd that confidence. So I thought his first round definitely captured the crowd and gave that crowd that confidence. Like, oh shit, he really came to play, and like he really he made Arsenal have to work that first round. Like that wasn't a given. You know what I'm saying?
So that happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Twerk's going. But what I liked about Twerk, he'll do something like you say, he'll do a setup, pause, then the punch will just come, boom.
Yeah.
It'll go silent. People are like, what's he gonna say? Then boom.
Then another
Like,
one. Yeah.
Oh, so Twerk goes, Arsenal goes. You know, Arsenal starts straight with his disrespect.
Out the
Out
gate.
the gate.
Yo, you know what I noticed, man? Like going second and Arsenal just being a pro, and I guess just Arsenal maybe wanting this battle more, not wanting to get outshined. His intensity from the gate was on 10. Like his voice projection, the way he was looking at him, the way he was moving, like there were no jokes. Like, did you feel that presence? Like, you know, once he started rhyming?
Even when they got on stage, Arsenal was just looking at him. Like, look at him like, I'm ready. Even so, when I got into the venue as well, where all the battlers were walking around, I went upstairs because I had like the VIP band. So I went upstairs and asked.
Man, a top shot, huh?
Nah, but no, shout out to Chico and them. They looked after me when I was there.
Yeah, Chico, you Haitian bastard. Look after me, Chico. Go ahead.
So shout out all of them. And so I've gone upstairs and Arsenal was there with his manager.
Yeah. And
he's just zoned out, like trying to like getting in the zone. And this is just even before the rock battle. So I could tell he was serious. And even with Twerk was walking around, still like chopping it up with fans, but you could see he was serious. He was in his zone.
Was anyone practicing their lyrics out of the two of them? Backstage?
I think possibly nearly everyone was, because there was times people would disappear, or you'll see people mumbling to it themselves.
Yeah.
So I think they were all to an extent, just to, you know, because I feel with this card, the energy that was there, I don't think anyone wanted to be the one to mess up heavily.
Hell no. Are you crazy?
So,
because you never know, Prince Harry could have pulled up with Meghan on his side. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to choke with that happen.
You never know.
Fam, you never know, man. This dude is a wild boy, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But Arsenal's first was crazy.
Arsenal goes, his first was crazy, but I edge it to Twerk.
Do you? Okay. Why?
Yeah. You know what? You know what it was, yeah? Like, I love, like, Arsenal, I like him as a battle rapper, like, and, you know, he's been able to transition throughout the periods of, like, of different battle raps. So he's been in the grind time. He was there at the, which is the one that had
the Fight Club, the Lions Den,
the Fight Club. Yeah, Sub-Zero.
Gladiators.
He's gone. Yeah, all the stages.
Everything.
He's like, he's transitioned throughout. Like during the course of sort of battle rap being on camera, he's been able to transition nicely and to all different crowds. And I think it was his 7th time in London.
Yeah, I mean, listen, so I think Arsenal has helped this game grow worldwide. Like literally, Disaster, a couple other guys. They've literally gone every continent, every coast, and just like battle rapping. So we definitely got to salute Arsenal on that. So continue, my brother.
No, so I was saying, to me in the building, I felt Twerk won it, and me personally, I felt Twerk edged. It's not like it was. It's a bit debatable round. So it's one of those rounds. If you decide to give it to Arsenal, I don't blame you. But me personally, I thought Twerk just gave me that much more, because I just felt that the first round was a lot of disrespect and mixed with bars, but too much disrespect. And I just like Twerk's approach to the first round.
Copy. So I'm gonna give a quick little breakdown. For me, like Twerk was fire, right? I thought his bars were fire, but then I had Arsenal's intensity being on 10. Then I had his disrespect being on 10, and he also brought the bars, and then he rapped longer. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm just looking at it from how, because, you know, I don't know if there's a time limit or not. So, and the thing is, it's not like he had dry spots as he's rapping longer. So that kind of made me edge the first to Arsenal. But the first is definitely debatable if someone wants to debate it.
Yeah,
I see the argument, and you know what I'm saying? So I definitely will concede to that. If someone wants to argue it, I can see that. You know, but round 2, my brother, the round of the battle, possibly round of the night. Twerk, I need you to set this up for me, player.
So Twerk comes out, right? He continues, like he's kept on the same level, has a great round, and I think everyone's happy that, like, Twerk's not choked.
Right.
But his content is good. People are loving it. But then Arsenal comes out. I don't know what this guy was on. Like,
Vibranium.
I feel this is sort of the last time I saw us go this crazy was either versus Shotty Horror or against. It's sort of like an underrated battle, but even against Clean.
Oh hell yeah, he went crazy. That joint's a classic.
Yeah, so like he was like talking to him like it was disrespect bars, and he was actually talking to him about like basically about I don't know how to explain it. It was just about like
it's like Big Brother.
The battle time he came from to his thing, and just about the whole like respect about who's the jersey. It was just crazy. Like I thought that he had, but I don't know. Was that's the round he done the strapped in as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
See?
And he
had the
landed it.
As well.
Hell yeah,
crazy.
That round had everything that you would. If you were an Arsenal fan, it had everything you wanted. What were you gonna ask?
Yeah. So, but I was gonna say it's a crazy run. I gave it to him, but was that the round where he done the Elvis thing?
No, my brother, that was the third round.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I'll address that after. But I thought that was a crazy round, and like as I said, like being in the building, like it's hard to recap bars for like the bars like off the top. I need to watch it again on pay-per-view, but I do know definitely he got the second, like clearly. And then we get into the third. And so Twerk. So just for me to explain, because I know a lot of people didn't understand. So Twerk opens his shirt, right? And everyone doesn't know why people are either going wild or they're not going wild. And he says a Harry Kane bar, right?
And who's
did you understand
Kane, by the way? Well, I realized that it was a soccer reference, so he must have been.
Okay, so
he must have been showing a team. You break it down for me, since you're from there. Break it down.
Okay, so Arsenal are a team from North London, and Tottenham are a team from North London, so they're rivals.
Right.
So he pulled out a Tottenham top to go sort of like as a disrespect to Arsenal and his name.
Right.
But then Harry Kane is the main striker for. He's the top goal scorer for Tottenham.
Gotcha.
So that's the reference. So
okay, so it's like if he showed up, it's like if they had the all right, so everyone in the US, it's like if my man had a Nick, it's like if Arsenal's from New York, so you know he would rep the Knicks, and then he showed up with a Bulls jersey, but everybody booed him because he showed up with a Michael Jordan jersey. So that's the equivalent
like
to
that. Yeah.
He chose the wrong jersey.
Yeah, they're the wrong. So I think he done it more just as a disrespect to Arsenal, because Arsenal and Tottenham are sort of like rivals.
But he didn't know that the crowd would be Arsenal fans like that. So you guys take your football seriously then. If you can't even let it slide for battle rap, that's shit.
That's our main sport out here.
No, I know, but y'all couldn't even let it slide for battle rap. Y'all like, nah.
I know, but you know, people they get emotional. Like they were invested. They didn't want to see that. They were like, no.
Yo, if you think battle fans
are
emotional,
would have been crazy. You know what would have been crazy if he had broke down Arsenal's name using legendary players from the team.
That would have been fire. See, you should have been on our playbook, man. Damn, that would have been fire.
If he done that, do you know how crazy the crowd would? Because if he done references to, if he just picked 5 players that everyone knows from Arsenal,
right,
use their name in a crazy bar,
absolutely,
because he started with a strapped in, isn't it, in his third round?
Yeah.
So if he done that and then pulled out said Arsenal's name and they've done that, the thing is, you know when you could end the round before it started? That would have just, because if you're going to do a strapped in the beginning, you just have to go crazy. You remember, it reminds me of when Verb started that Showtime against Swave, and he just kept it, it was so crazy in the beginning. Even if it died down, you just remember the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
that would have been fire,
I feel that that would have been fire if he done a reference to the Arsenal teams, but kind of broken the players down.
Yeah, definitely. If he would have did a little bit of extra homework and it did that strapped in and had those 5 Arsenal lots, shit, he would have tore the roof off.
But he would, to be honest, I think he done well to even try and use Arsenal like Tottenham, because they're Arsenal's rival. So it's more just to set the picture, isn't it, in the actual battle. So I just didn't know. It's one of those ones you don't know if it, because it could have hit on another night. Right. People could have liked it, but maybe it's off the back of Arsenal's crazy run. Maybe if Arsenal's run wasn't so crazy before, that whole Tottenham thing would have
Facts.
hit.
No, absolutely. I didn't
So,
even think about that.
so maybe because like Arsenal's run was so crazy, people were just like, nah, we can't do this sort of. But if that run wasn't so crazy, maybe he would have had them more in his pod.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, shout out to
that
him
was
though, because he definitely bounced back. You know what I'm saying? After that,
yeah.
he came
I
back.
feel that he had a very strong third round, and Arsenal's third round was good as well.
Hmm.
The only thing, was the whole Elvis thing, because the only thing that got to me, like, made me realize is that that's what Verb done to him in St. Louis, and
Absolutely.
when they battled each other. So I was like, like,
I was like, yo, was he trolling us? Like, what's going on right now? Like, I
yeah,
was
because it's
confused.
like it was against him, but. Apart from that, he had a great third round as well, and then he tried to disguise his pocket check with a hood
Right.
check.
Yeah. No, you know
Twerk
what's fun?
pushed him. Twerk pushed him once and then pushed him away straight away. Like, no, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, man. Blah, 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 sorry about that. The way that Twerk ended his round, it ended off a little bit flat, and the way Arsenal ended
Mm,
his, he ended his round strong. So they both had good material. They both were entertaining, but Arsenal just ended his round better. And carrying on
yeah,
from
the
the
third.
second round, it's like it was just a
Mm,
carryover to me. If somebody
was it-
wants to say, "Hey, I got Twerk winning the third because he had better bars or something like that, or bar for bar," I don't subscribe to that. But, I can see someone making a debate. But to me, it was like, hey, we have 3 rounds, two debatable rounds, and one guy took one round
mm,
clearly. I mean, just like
yeah,
without a doubt, that makes me lean more towards Ars for this
yeah,
battle. But
I agree. But you know what? I agree. I think I leaned it towards Arsenal towards the end, but it's really I need to watch it again, and like,
mhm,
because obviously in person the energy was crazy. Because you've got to realize, like, the stature of both men is crazy. So their physicalities, their performance,
yeah.
their energy. So everything came into play. But I did possibly edge it, but I need to watch it again.
It's a good battle though. Like when you see it, it's definitely a good battle, and I'll definitely be looking forward to texting with you and seeing what you think. After watching it a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
times. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna watch it, but just off watching it there and then, I was like, maybe I edge it to Arsenal. But look, shout out to Twerk, because if I'm right, Twerk had a battle the next day.
Do you know if he did that battle or not?
I'm not too
Because
sure.
I ain't hear
I'm
nothing
not.
about it.
Neither did I. But I'm not too sure. But when I spoke to him, he was like, "Yeah, he's got 2 battles."
Hmm.
So I'm
Yo,
not too
man.
sure. I was actually supposed to go to that event, but I was just too tired.
Dog, you were tired. Yo, I'm thinking, okay, battles are starting at 10. Maybe we'll be done by 3:30. I'll have the rest of
Oh
the
yeah, the
day.
time difference. That's
Fam,
crazy,
by the
yo.
time it was done at 5:30 p.m., I was just done. I was beat. I just passed out, woke up, and watched the
Uh,
battles again, yo. Like URL took my
nah,
whole
that's
day, man.
crazy.
But moving
But
on.
I'm happy.
Mhm.
Another thing though, I'm happy he didn't pull off his hood, because I don't know what would have happened. Like, they
Yeah,
pounded it up
man.
after,
Yeah.
and like they were like, "Oh, this is like some legendary shit." Like, they were all cool after, but I don't know. I think in that moment, because Twerk's already like, he's so on the fact that no one should touch his hood and said
Yeah.
what he would do. I wouldn't be surprised if something kicked off. So I'm happy he didn't.
Yeah, man, me too. And not for nothing, man. You shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no
Yeah,
man should be trying to take another man's hood off in a battle. Like, you're there to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, he already let you get physical with him. Like, there's no need to
yeah,
take it that far. And I'm glad that it didn't happen because, they were testy up there on that stage. There was like nearly 3, 4 scuffles that night. Little brush ups
yeah,
and dust ups, man.
yeah.
London kept it gully, man.
Yeah, so it was good, man. But I think in the building, the energy did lean towards Arsenal. But I think
Mhm.
on camera, it will look better for Twerk.
Yeah, I still got an Arsenal on
Yeah,
camera, but
yeah. So even if you still give it to Arsenal, I think you will
it's
realize
still
that,
a good
okay,
battle
Twerk
though, for
actually
sure.
came to play. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a shout out to Twerk, because look, his last battle was the band battle versus
Chess.
Chess, and he went crazy in that
Yeah, he
one.
did his
And
thing.
this one is another battle he didn't choke in. So
Hey, man.
now, but you gotta give props, isn't it? Because a lot
You
it's a
ain't
bit sad.
supposed to
Like,
choke. That's like Chris Rock, man. You
I
supposed to take
know,
care of
but
your kids. They're your kids.
I know. But you know what? As fans, sometimes though, we're harsh on
No,
like the battlers
absolutely.
when they do choke. So I think we do have to like show like appreciation. Like, even though, like you say, they're not supposed to choke it, we do have to show appreciation, because if it did choke, people would just be getting on him
Oh,
back and back,
absolutely.
back, back,
Look,
back.
I'm
So
gonna keep it 100. You know what I mean? Like I'm human, I do realize that all of these guys are humans and they're not machines. You feel me?
Yeah,
I think as fans and supporters, it's just when we see that when we feel that someone is not trying and they're just
yeah,
throwing away battles and just like wasting our
mm,
time, I think that's when we start to get annoyed. But if you're doing your thing and you're trying and you just can't remember, if someone throws you off, or a fight happens and you lose your placement, like whatever, that's life. Like for me to hound another dude about that, like I'd be a loser. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm paying
yeah,
good money and you're paying somebody good money and they're just showing up every time, like whatever, like come on, like
yeah,
that's not acceptable. But no, definitely he
yeah,
definitely came to play and I was happy about that, so I ain't gonna front. Shout out to Twerk. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Shout out to Arsenal. It's a
yeah,
great battle.
man, vintage Arsenal.
Mm.
Yeah, moving on, my brother. We got my man T Top
Solomon.
versus Iron Solomon. Now, this battle,
All
my
right.
stream cut out for it, so I'm totally relying on you. I haven't had a chance to see it again. So talk to me about this battle. What was it like in the building?
It was crazy because okay, so like Solomon and T Top, I never really saw them
Mm-hmm.
in regards to drawing the night, and I just saw them when they were getting mic'd up because I was at the back as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a part of the battle, I not disappeared, but I was making sure, like I went to go and speak to John just
Yeah.
about like the first round and stuff like that, and just make sure everything was cool. Um, but so I get on the stage, I'm listening to it, and then Solomon goes off first round, and everyone's like, "Nah, Solomon's actually good." Like
Uh-huh.
before I start, yeah, I would just like to say thank you to Ian Solomon
Uh-huh.
because when you think about all the legends that's come back, he's the only one really that's been so consistent. When you really think about from
Yeah.
his era, Mook, Lux,
He's been taking
and
fights, man.
yeah, and
Consistently.
like I was at Summer Madness too, and I remember watching the 5 rounds. People were leaving saying this is
Mm.
garbage,
Mm-hmm.
but like, think about his comeback. He's taken Rum, he's taken Disaster, he's taken Daylight, he's taken Clips, he's
Everybody. Big
taken
K.
Chiller Jones,
Yeah.
he's taken Rum, like he
And
took Rum at the
majority
volume
wins.
thing.
Majority
Yeah, Big
wins.
K,
Arsenal.
like Arsenal, like all these battles he's taken, and what he done, which was smart, is he took the loss, didn't complain, disappeared, and came back fire.
Right. Absolutely.
That was it.
Yeah. Salute to
And the,
Solomon. Sorry about that.
yeah, so you got to give him his props because he's one of the most consistent legends that's come back, and yeah, just salute to him. But his first round was good. Like the thing is, I couldn't hear it. There was a lot going on the stage at
Mm-hmm.
that time. But to be honest, the way I break it down is that the same way I break down Hollow. If I look at the battle as a whole, I edge it like okay, I'll go for round from round. I feel that Solomon probably got the first.
Uh-huh.
I feel T Top done like I think all Iron's rounds were solid, but I give him the first, the third, and T Top the second.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
I just feel that T Top had a little scheme thing about Jewish, like
That
circumcising, and then but he carried it on for quite a long time.
yo, yeah. That's what
So, but I don't like about Jewish, like, but I don't know. I don't know anything about it, so I'm not too sure. So it hit, but then I think, when you stretch something a bit too long, but I still think T Top done really well.
uh-huh.
But there's just so you know what Solomon done, which was really that well. There's what we call grime artists, which is like the equivalent to your kind
Oh
of
yeah,
like
yeah, I know who they
rap
are.
artist.
To the
So,
bottom, sit to the bottom, get the top to the sit to the top. Like,
but it's like sort of grime, but it's sort of not. It's kind of transitioned to where
oh, the
they
rhythmatic
rap. So I
rhyming,
don't know
you
if you
mean?
know some artists called Krept and Conan.
Have I heard of Krypton Conan? No, I don't think I have.
Okay, so but they're like British artists that they've got some songs that probably heard in America. But what Solomon done, which was very smart, is he done research, but he didn't do research in terms of bringing up people that are like in the that everyone will know, but enough that the London scene knows.
Yo, let me tell you something. When we did our playbooks for basically for our new supporters listening right now from the UK and worldwide, we do these things called the playbooks, basically where we come together and we act like coaches and we act like we're coaching the battle rappers, right? And we were like, yo, in this battle, Iron Solomon, he wouldn't go for the surface level references. You know what I mean? Even if he's gonna pander, he's gonna get a lot deeper with his pandering, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be definitely in layers. So to hear you say that is kind of dope, because it just means that he went the extra level for this battle.
Yeah, like he had like a reference about some guy called Cadet
Mm-hmm.
and Cadet and if I'm right, Crypto Conan, and they're like family members who made tracks against each other, airing out their issues in a mature
Oh,
way.
okay.
So that's why I said you're going against each other like Crept and Cadet. So there's little references that
Okay,
like
that makes sense, because I think I caught that part, and I was like, damn, the bar must have hit, because everyone's going, oh, but I didn't know what he was
yeah. So
talking about.
everyone was like, what? Like out of everyone, Solomon's actually done he's done his research.
Right.
But then when you look, so this is my thing, yeah. It gets to the third round, right?
Yeah.
Solomon's like, what did he say? Oh, what's the event coming up in December in
Oh, the volume. Oh, the call out.
He's like got volume freeze,
Yeah,
verb
kids,
stop
it's come and
ducking,
stop running. The
and he
Sue
goes,
surf.
so you got shot five times. You still I was
Oh,
like, no, I've never heard.
uh,
I know Solomon could be disrespectful, but I never would ever have thought he would say something.
yo,
Everyone in the crowd was like, what?
yo,
Everyone, the guy beside me was like, no way Solomon said that. No
yo.
way.
Let me tell
I'm
you.
just like, I hope Sue Surf don't take that too much as disrespect. It's like a
Right.
battle rap. But he was like, and then he repeated it 3 times.
3. Oh,
Remember he brought it, like, did you see it?
no, because my stream went out,
Oh,
right? And so
mate, the crowd was going crazy when he said
crazy?
verb start ducking.
Yeah.
He's like, Sue Surf, he took 4 shots and he still ducked. Mate, the crowd kept
Oh,
stopping him there. He had to bring it back 3 times.
damn.
And then he ended up with and then he even called out Geechee. The last one was Geechee.
Oh, word? Damn.
Yeah, so it was like verb stop. What was it? Verb stop ducking. Sue Surf, you got shot 4 times. He's still ducking. Then what did he say? The last one, something about where he's overwinning and but think he can't even travel overseas. Geechee.
Oh my god, man! Yeah, that's
It was crazy, but I was not expecting him. Out of all the people to make a reference like that, if you wrote that down, I'll be like, that's something some disrespectful rapper was saying. Like,
Geechee or Arsenal was saying something.
Because if you watch, Iron and Verb have been going back and forth for a long time. I think they were supposed to battle instead of Iron versus Chiller.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Verb didn't take it because obviously he had the Mook stuff coming up. But, it's crazy. And then obviously, like the last Summer Madness, the unfortunate events happened to Sue Surf, but shout out him. He's
shout out to him. And I think he took
he's
that.
made a full recovery.
And I definitely think he laughed it off as just battle rap when he heard it, because he even retweeted it and stuff. So
but you know what? I did. You know when you don't want to laugh at something, but you're like, that's too fire.
Yo, you know what it reminded me of? Like when DNA was talking about Big T getting shot, and I'm like, like what are we doing? Like, no, I don't. This is not funny. Like I don't want to laugh at this. This is not good. Like he really got shot. Like this is not good. Yo, because my stream went out, so I'm trying to update it. I'm looking at Twitter, and then they're like, "Yo, Solomon, I'm like, what happened? I text my man Franz. He told me about the call out. I said, "Oh shit, this is crazy."
No, Solomon went Solomon.
Yeah.
He's like,
wow.
He's like, he gets aggressive, but he's not aggressive. Right. It's crazy. But like, in terms
I know what you mean.
The construction. Yeah, it's like he gets amped, but then he's still like Solomon. He doesn't.
He's still nice.
What I like about Solomon, he doesn't do anything crazy in terms of performance. He just raps really well.
Yeah. No, that's
good. But I had him taking it 2-1 in a good battle.
Mm-hmm.
But that call out at the end, I was just like, no way he said that. That was my thing. But
wow.
Shout out to him. Shout out to T-Top. It was a great battle. And as I said, shout out to Surf. It's good to see he's made a speedy recovery and his new video's out. Check it out, guys. It's a fire song.
Mama's Crib.
Was it in Mama's house? Mama's Crib, yeah.
Mama's house. I definitely got to peep that battle, man, when I come back from work.
Watch it again and tell me what you think. When you hear that call out, tell me what you're like.
No, for sure.
I'm sure, like, if I'm right, unless I was like high off whatever was in the air, like They repeated it 3 times for real. Like I was like, this is
Wow.
crazy.
No, I'm definitely gonna peep it. No, we definitely gonna chop it up. You know what I'm saying? And compare notes and all that for sure.
Yeah, we'll compare notes, write some bars down.
Yeah,
So
my brother.
what is it now? The main event.
The main event. So now you've been holding this bag the whole night. It's the Battle of the Dons, and you're there on stage front and center. Talk to me, man.
So at this point, they're getting mic'd up. So I've gone to the back to chop it up with Avocado because I met him at the Verb versus Mook. I went to go speak to. At that point, I went to go speak to Jay Black, and he was talking about the Pat Stay and Tay Rock. He had Pat Stay winning 2-1. I had Tay Rock winning 2-1. And then I heard that it was like, oh, up next is like, so I was like, oh shit, I gotta go. So I think when I walked in, John looked at me and was like, oh, okay, he's here, kind of. Because he couldn't see where I was, isn't it? Because all that time I've been backstage. So leading up into that, so you've got to imagine like the whole sort of thing is like John's landed that morning, right?
Uh-huh.
He's had all the issues he's faced, you know. I hope it all sorts out for him in America.
Yeah.
And then he gets there. So when he first gets, I'll go and get him a Red Bull, like, because he's looking tired. He's sitting down, and like you could just tell. And I just like, you know, but he's in his zone. I can see like he's going through his stuff, but he's just sort of like in his own space. So we get onto this, and then so we're at the back, right? Hollow's sitting down. John comes in from the back, and Hollow's sitting there, and his tension was crazy. Like, it's like they know they're both there, but there's this, you know, when you can feel the tension, like
that silent tension.
Hollow's sitting down, going through his stuff.
Hell yeah.
John's walking up and down, and they're kind of just like, kind of nodding like to themselves, like, okay, it's about to go down.
That's crazy. They were in the same room
gets put to the
backstage.
stage.
Hold on, so they were in the same room backstage?
No, it's like there was a little like kind of area backstage.
Got you. And they were both.
The room was upstairs.
Got you. That's
crazy.
So
you're getting mic'd up, so they were right there together. So tension was crazy. I'm standing there thinking this is going to be crazy. So we get out. I think who comes out first? I think it's John that comes out.
Yeah, John starts it off.
We come out. I come out with John. Arsenal comes out, and then.
Yeah, you're standing right there next to Arsenal.
Yeah, so I'm standing right beside Arsenal.
Looking like John's lawyer.
Yeah, Hollow's guys are across. We're just looking at each other, a little smile, because obviously we chopped it up before. But they didn't know, like, I had the bag, so they're looking at me. And then Hollow kind of looks at me, then he looks at the bag, and then he goes, okay, all right, so let's see what's going to happen. Right. So we're there, and then, like, it's weird because John seemed tired and drained the whole night. As soon as he hit that stage, he was in a whole different bag. Like, if you saw, he came on and he was ready. Before the coin flipped, he was ready to rap.
Yeah, he wanted to go first off the gate.
And I think it worked. I think it worked in his favor because what happened is that I'll break down the way I saw it. But throughout the rounds, the way I saw it, if I look at the battle as a whole, is that John set the tempo, and I don't think Hollow reached that tempo. So I think he set the tone of how the battle should go, and I just feel that Hollow reached it, then dropped, then reached it, then dropped. So I feel first round comes, John comes out straight, boom. He drops it at multiple choice straight away, which was a smart move. Get the crowd to do something. Yeah. So do that. The round goes on. He takes the first proper. I'm like, what? Like, first of all, I didn't know it was a mirror.
Yeah.
So I've seen him pull out a mirror, and then I'm like, actually, I should have just put disclosure, isn't it? Like, disclaimer, just in case it spoils it for anyone. Should I go into detail or should I leave it?
No, go ahead, brother. Hey, if they ain't paid their bread, it's all good. Everyone here has paid. So, go.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I don't want to spoil it.
No, go, brother.
So he pulls out the mirror. I'm like, what is he doing with this? And he said something like, something about a duck. Then look in the mirror. He goes, last time we saw Hollow look in the mirror is when I put him from. I was like, oh man, my
shit went crazy. That was a haymaker, man.
I was like, John is not playing.
He was not playing at all.
Then he pulled out the second one. It was the contract disclosure.
Yeah.
And it was I saw it when he pulled out. It looked like a real signature on there.
Dude. Oh, word? Okay.
It didn't look like it was fake. It
actually looked like a real contract or whatever. It looked real. Wow.
I didn't read it. I didn't see it. But what it looked like is the document was there and there was a signature at the bottom, but I didn't see any names. So I
Right.
can't confirm whether it was real or not, but it looked like a real contract.
Interesting.
And he ripped it. And then he just, you know what? He was going crazy that first round. Like, yeah.
I thought it was dope. I thought it was dope that he.
Let's get
Oh
this.
shit!
Let's get this out of the way as
Let's
well.
go. Go ahead, player.
What with John, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is not being biased because it was in his side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you're in a battle and then you turn up, like it reminds me of sort of like the Hitman and Verb battles. Like, you know, when you're in a certain battle and then you have to hit that elite status, like the complete version of yourself to really like to show that you actually mean it. Like it's like Hollow versus Lux. We just saw a whole different Hollow.
Right. Like, yeah, he elevated that battle.
Like Clips versus Rex, we saw a whole different Clips.
Right.
Like that first round DNA had against Ill Will, we saw. Do you see what I'm saying? Or even DNA versus Danger Zone in that small environment, we saw a whole very like.
Or even DNA versus JC round 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Or Twerk versus JC, like all these battles. Even Verb versus Mook. Like we see a version of you we haven't seen in a long time. And don't get me wrong, John John's been consistent, but when have we ever seen John John rebuttal?
Right. Yo, okay, I'm glad you got to that, right? Because for everyone who didn't see it.
And then think about it, was a rebuttal. It was a rebuttal, and it was like, it wasn't even a rebuttal, and then he didn't even, and the way he done it is like he does it all the time. He went smoothly back into his material.
Yeah, because see, to me, all right, so John was doing a lot. He had the mirror prop, and then after that, he had the grip on your cheek like a granny pinch. Then the whole family pick theme that was fire, and then he got to the transparent bar. All right, I didn't like that bar; it was a little outdated. And then Hollow pulls out a sign saying either I heard that before or a bit, whatever, and the crowd just turned against John. They just started like yelling and just ooh whatever, and it was very effective from Hollow, but I thought that was poor sportsmanship. What did you think
about which part? The
repeatedly pulling up the sign.
I feel it was a bit. Do you know what it was? I feel as like battle rap is a sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether like it's judged or not, I feel it's a sport, and I feel it was. Okay, on Hollow side, it was a great tactic as a distraction because it's like we know it's not no, but like people say John John steals bars, but it's not. There's a difference between stealing and flipping.
Right.
And John John's been flipping bars from the beginning, even from his days battling against Bill Collector and B Magic. Even back to those days when he first entered, he was flipping bars.
Right.
So I feel on Hollow's side, it was a good tactic in terms of like, okay, John John is deemed as being a stealer, so I'm going to put a sign up so it diminishes everything he says. But at the same time, you're interrupting someone's round. So at any point, John John could have choked.
So all right. So let me say this, right? Okay, when it's a rap battle, it's a show. Okay, I got my chance to do my show. You got your chance to do your show. Now, whatever you choose to do during your show, I can't do nothing about that.
Yeah.
But when you start doing things to distract people from the show that I'm putting on consistently, like that's uncalled for. All right, maybe the first time when he pulled out the sign, cool. This is battle rap. I get it. I liked it. Okay, that's cool. But to do it 3-4 times throughout the battle, you're stopping a man's momentum. You're stopping him. And we all know battle rap is like basketball, like Surf says. Sometimes it's just a game of momentum. You know what I mean? And that first time, it could have totally threw John John off. What if he would have choked? Like, that would have been ass. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying.
But he was so resilient, man, and powered through it, freestyled, and then came back into the fire bars. Remember he did that the hollow, no, how low, no, how
yeah,
low,
no, how low.
Yeah, that was all after that.
Crazy.
And he did the fight, and he reenacted the whole fight, and he addressed Calico hitting him. And then he went into the twerk impersonation. So even with that,
when he goes, he did know it was me standing over the body with my glasses and my hat
off.
I feel like on Hollow side, it was a great tactic in terms of distraction and just to emphasize and bring light to the fact that John John is deemed to steal bars. But then in terms of the sport and it's like you said, you've got a chance for you to spit your bars,
Right.
and then if John John wasn't such a seasoned veteran, imagine if he reacted bad to that and they got into a little argument, then he lost his trail of thought.
Yeah.
So I
man.
think it was a bit out of order because it was every time he'll put up the sign and then the crowd will go react and they'll cut off John John.
Right.
But
yeah.
John John, like if you watch battles, Math did do it against Av.
Exactly.
He goes every time he spits a bar, he done it. So for him to think, so you got to give props to John John because he's not a natural, like he doesn't rebuttal. So for him to think about that and do it so quick,
right,
and go back into his material,
yeah,
you're like, okay, John John's actually in that zone. Like, and I think when you're in that zone, I'm not a battle rapper, but I thought if you're in your zone, you nothing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, nothing's gonna stop
you. It's
you.
just crazy, like it's crazy. So, I thought his first round was like he came out like he was just wild, like. And for me, it was because I had seen him all night. I just was a bit unsure whether he had the energy to perform because he's caught a 7 o'clock flight and he's 5 hours behind.
Wow.
So like you've got to take a lot of things into consideration. He's caught a 7-hour flight, landed that morning. 5 hours behind,
and still
his energy's low,
and he got a cold,
and he's still got all the other. Yeah, he's still got all the other stuff going on in America.
Right. Damn.
I don't know if it's sorted or not, but like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like taking all that on board. His energy for him to switch up that energy and give that performance.
It was crazy
for 3 rounds. It was crazy.
It was crazy. Not for nothing. Like when making my prediction right before the battle. Okay, my gut wanted me to go with John John, but I'm just thinking like, yo, he's been going through a lot lately. Hollow's so seasoned. I don't know how he's gonna pull this off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that first round was just like, whoa. Like he channeled all of that energy into his material. And I thought that was so fire, man. Even with the signs and everything, it was so fire. But talk to me about Hollow's first round.
So Hollow comes out, right? And he's crazy as well. You know when Hollow gets into that, his voice goes crackly, like when he's spitting, like it's different, but it adds effect. So he does that whole thing about the old Hollow, and I'll get close range like the old John. So that was a nice little
flip.
That was nice, that little section. Then he was going in, he was talking about I can't even remember the bars off the top of my head.
Oh, the comparisons bars? The comparison bars. I'm Penny, you Shaq. I'm telling you.
That was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Mills flow.
Sort of, but it was like I'm LeBron, you're Wade. So like,
right.
He I like that. I like the change and stuff like that. But do you know what?
And then he did the I'm Dad from Philly Swain.
Yeah, so this is what the consensus was. Is like he was saying he's stealing bars. And then even John John turned around to us saying that's from this Philly Swain battle.
Right, yeah. So I'm okay. Here's my thing.
Remember,
right?
that was the grind time battle.
Yeah, that was the Philly Swain battle.
Was like, I'm dead. Yeah.
So here's my thing, right? Okay, I've watched this battle several times. Hollow calls out John John for stealing bars. Okay, we know this angle, but he's doing 3 things from 3 different dudes in the first round. To me, you know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong, please, I'll apologize. Whatever. And John John didn't really flip bars the way that he normally would or whatever. Like he actually got a lot more creative in this battle. And I was like, yo, if you're just looking at how the battles were structured and the defenses these guys were putting up, like John John he out-strategized this battle and he had fire bars. You know what I mean?
But let's not forget Hollow's freestyle about the gas.
Oh yeah, okay. I got some.
Oh my,
that was fire. That was fire.
So in Twerk's third, right? Twerk was going. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Twerk was going fire in his third, and there was someone in the crowd, right, or in the back here.
Hold on, that wasn't the venue. That was a random audience member with like a smoke
I think it was a venue, but whoever was dealing with the stuff upstairs, the sound was not allowed to do that.
Smack was like, yeah,
because it happened the first time. It happened the first time, and like Smack kind of looked around like, what the fuck is going on? And then the second time, Smack, remember, did you see that? Smack got on the mic saying,
you don't do that no more. Who said who
So then,
authorized that?
yeah,
no more.
so I was, who authorized that? So I was laughing, but then remember, Hodo was like, "Do you know what? You wanted to go unlimited, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
freestyle now." So Hodo was like, "Oh, you don't want this smoke like
yeah,
the
yeah,
twerk battle." I
yeah.
was like, "That is fire," you know?
That was, you know what though? All right, he went into two dirty batch, but he went into a freestyle bag and then he went into a dirty batch. And then like the second freestyle bag, oh, we got unlimited. The second freestyle bag, like 3 out of 4 of those punches didn't land to me. So I'm like, yo, you
Yeah,
had a strong round, which you can debate, but when you go in extra time and you're not really hitting, it kind of takes away when you land,
yeah,
when you end the
that's the
battle, when
thing.
you end the round like that. To me, anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
No, I get what you're saying.
who did you
So
give the
I
first round
feel,
to?
do you know what? Right, is one I feel is the closest round of the battle. Right,
Mm-hmm.
I feel John John won it, but
Okay.
it's debatable. If you give it to Hollow, I understand because the thing about Hollow in this battle,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that he didn't do good. It's just that John John done. This is the way I saw it. John John done better than the general John John, and we just got Hollow. We got the
Right.
Hollow that gives. You see what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
Hollow was Hollow. Like, don't get me wrong, and the Hollow, a good,
It was still a
any
strong
type of Hollow
hollow.
is a good Hollow,
Yeah.
but he didn't step that one notch up. And what John John did was step up that notch
I couldn't have
to
said it
match
better.
Hollow and even edge him out.
I couldn't have said it any better, man. I couldn't have said it any better. That's the perfect way to describe it. We got a phenomenal John John who stepped things up and took things to another level. And we got Hollow that we're used to seeing. Maybe we're spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Like Hollow is still Hollow. And because to me in that second round, Hollow was fire. Like that second
Mm,
round was just like, wow. Like I thought that second round was so dope. You know what I mean?
mm.
And what did you think of the second round of this battle?
Um, I feel Hollow's second round was really good,
Mm-hmm.
and I think John John's second round was really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then to close it off, like how did you, so now we all know third rounds are so important and these guys have been
wait. You see,
uh-huh.
so wait, the second round, off the top, because you've watched it a couple of times, what bars did Hollow have in his second?
Oh, let me get this for you right now because I took copious notes, my brother. Let
Yeah,
me get
because
this.
it'll remind me because
All
I
right.
haven't had the time to actually break it down. I'm still going off the energy in the room.
Perfect. All right, let me get this for you. All right, so we had Hollow explains his side of the fight, basically saying like, hey, all right, so this was confusing for me. They still John John says Hollow swung, missed. John John punched him, threw him through the glass. Hollow says, I stepped to you, punched you in your face. The fracas happens, and then, Calico hit you, my other man hit you, and that guy hit you. Basically, you got jumped, trying to diminish John John saying that he hit him first. So we still don't know how the hell
Mm,
this fight actually went. So Hollow starts off
yeah,
by explaining the fight. And then he was saying, how homeboy's mouth was all moving off like a Chinese flick. I'm peaceful now. Let's get past the fist.
mm.
Um, can't find your boy. He also called out John John for not being loyal, saying that
Oh
swag,
yeah, that
yeah,
was it.
yeah, Swag
Because I
Inc.
remember
wasn't around.
he kind of like pushed me out of the way a little bit. And he goes, "I can't find your
Yeah, I
voice."
saw that.
So
Yeah.
I was looking at him. I was like, "What's he did?" And he was like, I still can't find your voice." So I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "That was cool. That was
Yeah,
cool."
that was dope. He talked about John John being down with So Def. See, to me, he really started cooking when he was like, James Earl Jones, deep talking. When he went into that whole flow,
Oh
and
yeah, that was crazy.
yeah, but that was also from Pastor Troy, so I don't know. Rich and famous, basically saying that John John hung around rich and famous people, and then he robbed and leached people. He pulled out that scroll. He was like, if I wrote all the rhymes
Yeah,
that you bid, he had the scroll. He had the Europe scheme, which went kind of dope, where he named all the
oh
countries in
yeah.
Europe.
Okay, yeah. That was crazy. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
I just didn't like how he ended it. In the end, I told Dubai. I was like, oh, okay. And then he went into random bags with just like different flows and everything to end the third round. I mean to end the second round. And I thought his second round was well put together. Um,
Okay,
yeah, I thought
so
he
I think I can remember now.
mhm.
So is John's second one where he said the hologram, he's never there. About was that the second? Like about that, he's him not giving back. That was the second, right?
I want to say that was the second. Yeah. Yeah,
And
he
then
had the Gordon Ramsay joint. Yeah, all that.
Oh, and John done that choke in the second, right?
No, that was the third.
Are you sure it wasn't the second?
Yeah, that was the third.
Didn't he end his second like that? You remember?
Oh no, you know what? You're absolutely right. Yeah. He ended his second like that. No, you're absolutely right.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
So this is the thing that made it debatable for me. So I feel that Hollow started strong and died down, and then John stayed sort of consistent but heated up towards the end.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. So look, I'm standing there, right?
Yeah.
And then he's going. And then in my head, when he does that, I'm like, shit, like, because I've seen John and he's been tired during that day. So I'm like, is the flight got to him? So I'm like, but then in my head, I'm like, I'm remembering the Mr. Wavy battle when he done the yo-yo line.
Yeah, you're right.
You remember?
Yeah.
So I think what he done was it hit against Mr. Wavy. So when I don't know, I didn't speak to him about this, but I thought when he was writing, he's like, I can do another creative one like this because he's hit before.
Yeah.
So I just remember him doing that, and I'm looking. If you see me in the camera, I'm looking at him thinking, "Oh no, I don't want either one of these guys to choke because this is like a good battle." Then he's touching his face, and he's like, and I'm like, "Where's he going with this?" And he's like, "What did he say? He knows." They said, "Peep the body language, something like that." He knows.
Before I
take any.
Yep.
Take
he'll
any
get aired out.
That I was like, "Oh my!"
Yo, let me tell you, at home, I'm sitting there going, yo, John, you're doing so good. Like, no. And then he came out and flipped it, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, that was taking it to another level to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what? And it's kind of interesting because it's like with, as I said, he tried it against, and this is what I think is smart about John, right? He's like very strategic in the way he moves. So he's probably done that against Mr. Wavy. No, it's something he used again, but waited for the right time to use it.
Yep. And now that's going to be one of his moments forever that people will remember.
Yeah. It was and the thing about it, so this is why the second round is debatable, because Hollow started fire, but kind of died towards the end to me. And then John stayed consistent, but heated up all the way like towards the end. And the way if it was like last impressions, I have to give it to John.
Damn, yo, you're gonna make me go back and watch this again to see if I'm going from 2-1 to 3-0, man. Crazy. You're gonna make me go watch it again.
Because in the building, it's like he picked up, but you know when there's like a last impression left on you, like Hollow kind of ended weak.
Yeah.
But it's like ending week, that is like, I don't know, when you heat up in the beginning, it's good, but you end week is like, you're kind of like, okay, you've left out for debate. And then John starts, you're like, okay, he's doing good, but is it enough to beat Hollow? And then he heats up towards the end. Is that the one where he had the Vada fly line as well?
In the third round or the second round?
Was that second or third?
I want to say, let me see. No, that was the third round. Yeah, that was the third round. But that was with the whole math angle and everything. Yeah, that third round was.
Yeah, so he was heating up, and then, do you know what? I think if it's last impressions, I have to edge it to John. Like, I need to watch it again, but I have to like. What we'll do, we'll watch the battle and write our lines. Then we'll up again.
I got my lines ready, player. So we'll definitely match them up.
Give me just even this weekend I'll be ready. But
for sure,
it's like it was crazy. Like, so for me, if it's lasting impression, I would say Hollow started really well, but sort of died towards the end.
Yeah,
and then
was cooking.
Yeah, John was started, then he started cooking, and then the way he ended it was like, you can't end it any, like, and the funny thing, it's not the funny thing is like, what John done during this battle was match Hollow for everything Hollow's attributes were, then a bit more. So we know Hollow being very creative.
Right.
So he took something that he's done as creative, but added more spice to it in terms of like the airing out. And he done it, his timing was perfect because he done it enough time to think, damn, he's choking. He's actually choking.
Yeah, and then looked just like he sold it, man. He sold that.
Yeah, it was like it's like you in a fight and then you punch the guy and he's pretending to wobble, and when you go for the knockout punch, he hits you.
He's playing possum and whatnot.
Yeah, like he's
Right.
like that was crazy. And
Yeah.
then
Now bring us home,
and I think
brother.
with John, what he done as well is that he brought up the topics that before Hollow, so it diminished what Hollow said about them. So the whole thing about his goal, I think, in Hollow's defense, he probably had his round sorted out before the whole situation. But I feel if he had addressed that earlier, he could have made. Imagine if he addressed that in the second round as his angle.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like
It just seemed like John was getting to the angles first, like with everything, even the domestic abuse line. You know,
he was
everything.
beating him to the punch.
Yeah,
like he was beating him. It was beating him to the punch, and it's like if Hollow had addressed it in the second round, like this, like he's cooking in the beginning, and he thought, do you know what? Fuck it. Do you know what I really miss from Hollow is a roasting session. Imagine if he done that as a roasting session.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Imagine if he just said, do you know what? Fuck this in the second round. Like halfway, do you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you and you give him a roasting session about beating up like the whole women thing.
London would have loved that.
That would have made that second round that would have made that battle more debatable.
But instead, we get John in the third, doing the, hey, I apologize. She was attacking me. I should have showed some more restraint.
Oh, then he goes, but where was the same energy?
When I was beating this bitch. Oh man,
and then he even had another bar after that, from what I remember from the top of my head, when he was like, it's like when Hollow.
Hit or miss. Yeah, he said, "You hypocrite, acting like you don't condone domestic violence. I watch your battles. All your punches hit or miss. Come on, that's fire." He had to idolize. Play yourself on several accounts. You think you butterfly? Shit's fire. Yeah, it was science history when he speaks about class, the double entendre.
And it goes. It's just like LOM. It's,
leaving out math.
Yeah, and leaving out math.
Yeah, and then he hit the whole math half of from the Angry Fan interview, the whole flip on that, and that was fire.
And then about his sister, he said something about and then he flipped it. He kind of like,
so that's what I was saying.
He said the lie, then he flipped it the other way. Like it was crazy.
And that's what I was getting at with this battle. It's not like John was flipping other people's bars. He was just flipping styles to me. He was just flipping words around, and to me, it's like it was pretty much all him, this battle. So you couldn't even put those things on him. I mean, even any card he'll pull, the real Donald Trumpet, to prove this pussy's not untouchable. Come on, like that's wordplay. That's word. I'll design a hand to put a L, whatever, LOM logo joint, designing a hand to put the L. Like, yo, he was going off, man. And I thought his third round was just dope, man. And to me, Hollow's third was a little light.
You know where it was with Hollow? Like, I think he explained this online where he thought John wasn't coming. So he wasn't like, and I understand where he was coming from that, but it wasn't the first two rounds Hollow gave us. Like Hollow, he just seemed very like, I don't know, not to be disrespectful because I'm a big Hollow fan, but it seemed like that he was the one that something was going on. That and like that third round, he didn't really give it the energy or time, but at the same time, he did, even though the crowd wasn't receptive, he did have a good angle in regards to. Was it that round when he was like, "Oh, you're just like a woman chasing a man off for his name"?
Yeah, that was kind of fire.
That was fire.
That was kind of fire.
Then he had
the Tupac.
And
speed.
what I did like was the whole thing was about when he did flip the mirror thing, and he's like, "Yeah, the mirror did break, but it ended up giving me 7 years of bad luck." Yeah. That was fire.
Yeah.
And then he was just talking about like the whole woman angle. But I feel like if he had kind of constructed it as a roasting session, even if he didn't, it would have been crazy. But I think overall, the way I saw the battle was, I had John taking it.
Yeah, man, that's how I had it too, bro. I just thought in the third, I thought Hollow just came too light, and like he just didn't have enough in that third, and so I scored it, man, 2-1, John. But now you got me wanting to go back and watch the second round all over again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel the second round is debatable. But it's not that it's debatable. I just thought John done more.
Yeah.
And if I was to give Hollow around will be the first. But the John John was fire as well.
Yeah. It was a dope
So
battle,
it's one
man.
of those. It's a dope battle, and that's the thing. So, like when I think of grudge matches, I'm thinking of Hitman versus Verb. I'm thinking about Disaster versus DNA. I'm thinking
Right.
about even Hitman versus Sue Surf. Who else is there? I'm just thinking and them caliber, and I'm whether win or lose, they both came with it. Like
Right.
although even though I have John John winning, you got to shout out to Hollow because no matter what, he's a goat.
Yeah.
And what John John proved though is that John John is a legend. Like you've got to really think about him as an individual. Like him, like there's different types of legends. You may be like, yeah, but legends are like Mook and stuff. But really think about the new age of battle rappers. He's a legend in this era because he came from the PGs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grind time where he was losing battles that he didn't really lose, but he was not getting the votes.
Right.
He came to he came to Smack Royal, moved from
PGs.
the
Yeah.
PGs. He had these battles with like B Magic,
Clean.
Bill Collector.
Bill Collector.
He
Rose
took
up through the
Clean,
ranks and then
remember, in
came all the way up to
Chicago.
meet Hitman Holla.
Yeah. He had a good account of himself against Hitman.
Yeah. See, to me,
He met
after this
Verb on the
battle,
main surge.
yeah, to me, after this battle, John John has a seat at the table now. You know,
Yeah, no,
he has
definitely
a
because
seat at the table where he's one of those guys. He can make some shot calls now. He can say, "Nope, not that guy. Yes, that guy. Okay, let's do
think
this."
about it,
You
yeah.
can't deny him now. Like if you are Surf or if
Do you
you're
remember?
somebody, you can't
Do
say
you remember?
no.
Do you remember his even bar like when he said, "No pork, no lamb. We're making
Oh,
goat
goat
chop."
chops. Yeah. I was like, oh snap. Yeah, man.
So I feel, but this is all right. So even though I don't have Hollow winning, right, just shows the caliber of Hollow as a battler. Because even if you think he even lost or it was a debatable battle, even with Tay Rock,
Mhm.
think about his status doesn't get affected, but now
Exactly.
he solidifies the spot of Tay Rock after the battle.
Hmm.
Because no one, people knew Tay Rock was crazy, but people were like, can he catch up with Hollow? And he did. He kept with him.
You know,
So,
what? That's a
and
great point that you bring up, man. And I didn't think about it like that. You are definitely one of those guys when people could say that you lost, but you still helped solidify another person, and no one takes
yeah,
away from your performance. You
yeah,
know,
like
like,
think about it. He had think about it. Yeah, he took Rock,
yeah.
stood in front of Rock's third. Remember Rock's third round, second round. Remember when he was like the seatbelt,
Oh, yeah. Who thought he was
and
going to
then
come
he
back
had
from
the
that?
I've got a daughter. One's one, one's
Oh, it's
nine,
nine. Yep.
911. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
But like with Hollow, it like not to go off the point too much. It's like he solidifies his support no matter what as a GOAT because he still gives a good account for himself.
Right.
But what he also does is that he the people like John John and Tay Rock, who are greats in their own right, have now been notched up a bit after their performance because they've turned up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the best way to describe what happened after this battle. No matter what, John John now has a seat at the table and Hollow is still one of those guys. So,
Yeah, like
you know,
shout
so
out to him. Like even when I spoke to him after, I was like, look, do you know what? I was standing across, I had the bag. He started laughing, like it was all love after.
facts, man.
But shout out to him because win or lose, it's still like
He's still a
battle rap,
champ,
unless it's
man.
being judged, is our own opinions.
Right.
But I feel in that thing is as like I explained in the beginning. I just feel like John John set the tone, and it's like say if me and you are arguing, and then you've set the tone, and I haven't kept the same energy. I'm arguing, but when you've turned it up a notch,
You
I'm like a
start
bit
turning
timid.
down a
Like,
little
damn,
bit.
to get
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That
And
person won the argument.
I feel like John John just came out swinging. Like when he first came out, he was just wanted to go, and I feel he just kept an energy that Hollow never kept consistently at because John John had less dry spots. He had the most memorable moments. I feel his props were better, and then his execution of the angles were better as well.
My brother. I couldn't have said it any better, man. And this is coming from a person who was in the building, on the stage. Arsenal even grabbed you at one point during the battle, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, like it
That
was
was
it was
crazy.
crazy. Like, and to think, yeah, like, so I like it's weird, isn't it? Because some people might be like, oh, he doesn't really watch battles, but we watch it out here. I've been watching it for 10 years plus. I started watching it from the Fight Club Sub-Zero days.
Oh wow,
I
you're a
started watching it
veteran,
from the
man.
the Smack DVD days. I watched the WRCs all the
Right.
way through to grind time. Then I remember watching the first, like I even remember the first Smack event was the first was the same day as the grind time New York event.
Yeah, man. That was on Halloween, 2009.
Yeah, and that's when Calico battled, isn't it? On grind
No,
time.
did he? No, I don't think he battled on that particular card. A
Now
big
he
T,
battled
big.
in grind time that
Oh
day,
yeah, no,
I think.
mm, he may. I may be wrong. France would know better than I would, but now, man,
I'm not too sure, but I think he may have. But I need to check again. But I do remember
I
that first card. Big T
yeah,
was
big
on
T.
Math versus T Rex,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was even the cipher, isn't it? It
Solomon was
had
there. Mook was there.
Solomon,
Yeah.
Luke was there,
Oh, you know
and
your
Hans
battle
was there
rap.
as well.
Hell yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So I've been watching it for a time, and it's crazy to see the transition because I remember when we had to wait for one battle.
Hell yeah.
Remember
And that
one round,
one round
one
per,
round.
and now Smack was in London, man. You couldn't have brought it home any better than that. We went from one round
So
per battle to now Smack was actually in London holding it down. My man Ed,
yeah, it was.
I want you to give some shout outs, man, to some of the people in the
Yeah, but
UK.
before I say that,
Talk to me.
shout out
Oh,
to you
thank
and
you,
your
brother.
channel, bro. Everyone tune in.
Thank you, man. Let's
Thanks for
talk battle rap
listening.
podcast, player. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk battle rap podcast. Shout you guys out. Great. You showed me much love when I came out to New York, and definitely when I come again, we're gonna sit down properly and chop
Oh,
it
for
up.
sure, my
And
brother.
I've got you guys when you come out here
Oh,
next
you
year because
know
you
it, man.
definitely have to come out here
Hell
for the next
yeah.
one. So I've got you guys,
Hell yeah.
and then also like just to shout out URL. Like there was so much love from the battlers and from the staff, and and even the fans in London, they went crazy and they were really receptive and like really
You guys were
understood.
amazing.
So that crowd was crazy. But what you also got to shout out, we don't do enough, is the battle rappers. Think about it, yeah.
Facts.
Compared to the think like everyone turned up. Whether you think they won or lost, we've got to congratulate. All of them came with 3 complete rounds. There was
Facts. Facts.
even though
Big
there was a
facts.
stumble here there all the material was good. Take away maybe just a little mishap from Rock. He redeemed himself. Think about the rounds that came up. We go through it. Like I missed the other battles, but from what I saw, Arsenal came with 3 good rounds.
Yeah.
Twerk came with 3 good rounds. T-Top came with good rounds.
Everyone
Iron
showed up.
came with
Facts.
everyone showed up, and it was just a matter of who you felt done better in the day. It's not like no one got killed.
Yeah, they redeemed themselves from Summer Madness 7 for sure.
Yeah, no one got
No one
no
got
one got
killed, and you can
destroyed.
pull something positive from every battle.
Yeah.
Like there's something
So I
from
want to
every battle you can go back and watch for.
yeah. So shout out like all the battle rappers. Thanks for
Absolutely.
coming down to London and giving us a great show. We look forward to having you guys again next year. Supposedly my name is Slap now, so
Slap! Nephew Smizzle. Yo, you famous
but
now here in these
yeah,
streets. That's crazy, man.
it was a great event, and we'll definitely chop it up at volume 3. Like so far, I think I know one battle on there. So
Oh man, you know me, man. I never want to know until it gets announced. I just like to be in fan mode, man.
no, but I think I know just because of the
Oh
back and forth we
yeah. Oh,
discussed.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, they've been talking
Yeah.
about that for a long time. For
Yeah.
sure.
So, but yeah. Do you know what? Back to the event. It was just crazy. Like the vibe was there, and you've got to think. Look at how the energy consistently ran because it finished. It started around 2 o'clock our time and finished around 10:30, 11.
Yeah, that shit was kind of crazy. That's why I was so tired, bro.
Yeah.
I was done.
What? But do you know what? The crowd was good. Like the crowd had energy. Like
Yeah, you guys never got
it was a
tired.
do you know what? It was a shock value. We've never had Smack and like you've never seen Tay Rock in person. You've never seen John or Hollow. So shout them all out. But
Facts.
everyone done great. Whether you win or lose, it was just my opinion in regards to
Hello?
everyone made a great account for themselves. And I think it was a great way for URL to end their traveling, their moving their events around, and to finish it up in London, and for London to be so receptive and to have the crowd, because I think a lot of people doubted that that type of crowd will come out. But you had people in there that were just like
from all over the world.
just from the streets, yeah, like all around from the UK. People came up from like up north of the UK. Like not everyone was from London there. People traveled for that.
Nah, that's dope. And that 80
Um,
pounds too, y'all shelled out that paper, man. So Uncle Smizzle's gonna be back
yeah,
next year, and we're
yeah.
definitely gonna be out there. So we gonna get to chop it up.
Yeah, mate, you got, and the thing is, there wasn't a lot of people interviewing, so like, there was no like,
Listen, man, next year is gonna
the
be
hip,
Lil, it's gonna
it's
be
gonna be
different,
crazy,
man.
like,
We hitting it out
so
there, man. We gonna be live. We're gonna link up, man. Ed, I can't thank you enough, my brother, for allowing us to
no
give the
worries.
U.S. a in the building perspective from someone who was actually in the building, and for you to represent for the UK to let the world know how fantastic of supporters and fans that you guys are, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm just glad that we could bring the two worlds together and blend the cultures. And from here on out, I better see people from the UK retweeting, shouting out, showing love, because we
No,
definitely gonna start
we
covering
definitely
some
will.
more of you guys. And if you want to know
Yeah,
what's going on stateside, holla at us for sure.
I will. I'll be out there next year, for sure.
Oh
And then I'm
man,
sure you guys will definitely be here. But shout out for having me, and we'll
anytime,
recap
brother.
it. Sorry, I couldn't get too much in the bars. It's just
Oh no,
fresh
it's
off
all
my head from
good.
the weekend. But that was my outlook, and it was a great event. That's all I can say. And I've been to Summer Madness too. I was at the Verb and Mook, but the atmosphere, because it was home. When you got a home game, it's
Facts,
different, isn't it? And I'm just
absolutely.
so happy it went well, and there's a chance for Smack to actually make a market here as well. So salute to all the UK fans. Salute to you, brother.
Thank you,
And
brother.
yeah, man, we'll chop it up again in
Yeah,
regards to what's going on. But
yes,
shout
sir.
out Battle Rap Podcast. You're
Yeah,
doing great things.
thank you, brother.
Your intro to your last video was jokes, by the way.
Yo, I
I
think that's
listened
gonna
to
be
it
a
at
new
work, but
tradition, man. Yo, I appreciate that,
before
man.
you go, what did you think of overall? What did you think of the event?
I thought it was fantastic. I gave it like an 8.5. I thought it was
Yeah,
it's everything that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
pretty much everything I wanted. I can't complain. Like the crowd was live. Everybody brought enough material, the highlights I can remember. I'm going back to watching multiple battles. Gemini represented well, Soul represented. Like I'm happy, bro. I'm
Mm,
happy, man. Like I'm dead ass happy for this event, and I'm looking forward to
no,
December 15th. Hopefully, we're in the building to give y'all an exclusive. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I'll be tuning in. I'll be tuning in. I
Oh, for
definitely got the pay
sure,
per
man.
view.
For
I'll
sure, my
be tuning
brother.
in. But
Yeah, man. So
thanks for having
everybody,
me, bro.
no problem, man. Until next time, everybody continue to tune in to the Let's Talk Battle Rap podcast. Peace.
Peace. Take care, bro.